I've been researching and studying sleep for over a decade now, since I was like 15 years old. What's so interesting about it is it's not unlike most other types of hygiene. We all take showering and brushing our teeth really seriously because we do it every single day, typically in the same exact way at the same exact time. Everyone treated sleep with the same respect that they do with all their other habits, well, I think we would all be much more productive and healthy. If the issue for you is that you honestly just don't know what a good nighttime routine is, well, I'm about to eliminate that from your pool of excuses. After this video, you won't have any more excuses as to why you're not having the best sleep of your life. Since everyone needs different levels of prep for sleep, I'm gonna lay out a very basic guideline and routine that you'll be able to follow. I'll then go through all the caveats and help you craft your very own personalized sleep routine just for you. This routine is bare bones, meaning that you need to implement every single thing in this process for it to work correctly. Don't add any steps and certainly don't take any away because you need all of these steps. It's the bare minimum for a perfectly executed restful sleep. Just like with any other hygiene, you kind of need a plan to get going. It doesn't have to be very rigid, but you do need to know a rough time that you're going to be waking up in the morning. From this, you can then calculate the time that you need to go to sleep so that you can wake up feeling refreshed and perfectly ready to start the day. Most everybody knows that you need to be sleeping in about 90-minute intervals. That's because our body rotates every 90 minutes. You want to make sure that you get through every interval all the way through. Otherwise, you're going to wake up feeling groggy in the AM. So what you're going to want to do is pick your latest possible wake up time, say 7 o'clock in the morning, and then you subtract off 7.5 hours of sleep. So that ends up being 11:30 p.m. The reason that I'm saying 7.5 hours is because that's the average amount of time that most people need. If you find yourself groggy during the day, then add 90 minutes to your sleep schedule. If you feel like you're getting too much sleep or you're waking up even earlier, maybe take off 90 minutes, but just try to make sure it's in 90-minute intervals. However, most people will find that 7.5 hours is perfectly solid. The reason I said to pick the latest possible wake up time is because you'll actually be waking up before it, ideally. However, we will have some fail safes in place, such as alarms. Your bedtime routine actually begins about 30 minutes before you go to sleep. Some experts even say to start preparing an hour or more before you go to bed. In my experience, I find that a little unnecessary, but if you run into issues, then you should try it out. Either way, 30 minutes to an hour before you go to sleep, you need to hit all of the following objectives. Set your phone on the other side of the room, as in not on your side table and not within reach. Turn off all screens, no TV, no computer, no tablet, no nothing. Just turn everything off. Turn off all major lights and make sure you have just a single lamp with an orange hue. You don't want any white light or blue light or anything like that. Red light would actually be even better, but honestly, that's a little weird. Set an alarm on your alarm clock for the latest possible wake up time. You can set it on a traditional alarm clock or you can set it on your phone. But just remember, your phone is on the other side of the room. These four are absolute musts. No compromises on these at all. I'll also throw in a couple that I've picked up over the years that you might not have heard of before. Have a full glass of water next to your bed. This is for the morning, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Start reading a non-fiction, non-page turner. The problem with reading a fiction book is that you get sucked into the story and your brain, keeps processing the story, and it's actually harder for you to fall asleep. You want to read something mildly interesting, but not something that you can't put down. Once you start getting a little drowsy, just mark the page, hit the light, and hit the hay. Don't worry if you can't fall asleep right away. I'll give you some tips to help you get to sleep. If you're anxious about falling asleep and you can't stop thinking about things like, wow, I really need to go to sleep right now, or OMFG, it's already that late, I have to get up in just a few hours, then what will help you is not having your alarm clock within view. So actually take your clock and put it on the other side of the room. If you can't see what time it is, then you can't be anxious about what time it is. If you have anxiety about other things, well, I'll save that for another video. If you have trouble falling asleep due to just being wide awake and staring at the ceiling, try taking really small doses of melatonin. The stupid thing about melatonin supplements right now is that they're way too high of dosage. I've seen pills that are like 30 milligrams per pill. That's actually too much and will probably do you more harm than good. All you need is a couple micrograms. This one I have right here is 300 micrograms. The goal with the melatonin is to kick your body into producing it on its own. Your body actually makes melatonin naturally, it just needs a little help getting going. Once some starts showing up in your system, that triggers your brain to think, okay, it's bedtime. The issue is the more of it that you have, the less effective it is, and the more you're going to have to continue to take to fall asleep. Don't misunderstand, melatonin is not an addictive drug or anything of the sort, but you only want to use it to set up your nighttime routine. Once you're consistently falling asleep, you can actually stop taking it altogether. If you can't sleep because your mind is running 100 miles per hour, then try listening to some sleepy time music. There's tons of playlists on YouTube that are hour, 2 hour, even 10-hour long versions of some nice, relaxing songs. All you need to do is just search sleep music on YouTube. I don't recommend listening to music that you know or music that has lyrics, because that will actually activate your brain and your brain will start singing along or whatever, and you won't be able to fall asleep as easily. Just remember, if you do want to play some music and set it up on your phone, do so before you put your phone on the other side of the room, 30 minutes before you go to sleep. You should not be fiddling around with your phone trying to change the song or whatever. The phone goes on the other side of the room and that's it. Just leave it there. The funny thing is, sleep routine doesn't end just because you wake up. What you do first thing in the morning sets the precedent for the rest of the day. You need to have what I call a minute one plan. This is the act that you're going to carry out every day the moment you wake up. It can be anything that you want it to be, as long as you physically get up out of bed and you don't lie back down. And also, don't make it checking your phone. Something easy as hopping in the shower. That helps you transition from a sleepy state to a more alert and awake state. Plus, it's really relaxing. Another good one is putting on a cup of coffee. Now, I personally don't drink coffee because I'm not a drug addict looking for an upper, but it is the world's favorite stimulant, so why not? I personally like to stand up, stretch, and drink that cup of water that I set out the night before. The reason for the water is that it kickstarts your metabolism, actually helps you wake up a little bit faster. It also helps you combat dehydration since you haven't had a drop to drink in like 7 hours. The key with the minute one plan is to just be so brain dead simple that you can do it every day without fail. And I do mean every single day, the entire routine, no excuses. It's the weekend? Follow the same routine at the same time no matter what. Friends going out to a party? Sorry, no, you have a bedtime. Now, I certainly understand the need for being flexible. Maybe it's a big occasion, you want to go out with your friends. So that's why I'll amend the every single day statement to every single day for 90 days straight. 90 days will give you ample amount of time for your body to adjust and accept your new routine. It'll probably fight you on it for a while, so put your foot down like a mother to a preteen brat and say, no, it's bedtime. After the initial 90 days, you can start being a little more flexible. Not like relapsing into your old horrible sleep schedule, but once every few weeks you can just go out, stay up a little later, and maybe sleep in a little. But do not make a habit out of this. You just spent 3 months building this great sleep routine for yourself. Don't throw it all away just because you want to sleep in on the weekends. Consistency is king here. Just like with all your other hygiene, don't neglect sleep. Just like you feel gross when you don't take a shower and don't brush your teeth, don't skip a single day of your sleep routine, at least for the first few months of doing it. You have to let your body adapt to this new routine. If you give yourself just an inch, you'll end up taking a mile. Hashtag no days off. No screens 30 minutes before bed. No excuses. It's just a very easy rule to follow. Just don't do it. Place your phone on the other side of the room 30 minutes before bed and don't touch it until 30 minutes after you wake up. During the day, don't lie down in your bed. You don't want to trigger your brain to think that you're going to sleep. Don't confuse it by laying down in the middle of the day with no intention of going to sleep. Taking a nap is okay, but if you're gonna lay down, you wanna make sure that you're gonna be falling asleep within the next hour or so. Set an alarm for the latest possible time to wake up. Don't set a ton of alarms. This actually teaches your brain that it's okay to sleep through your alarms because you know there's going to be another one. You're essentially training your brain not to wake up when you hear an alarm. Set just one alarm and make sure that you get up right when you hear it. Eventually you'll be waking up before your alarm even goes off, so you won't have to worry about it as much. Have a minute one plan for the first thing in the morning. Something that a blind ape can do. Nothing complicated, nothing complex, just something straightforward to the point that you know you can do every morning without fail. And don't make it checking your phone. I've been following and refining this plan for several years now, and I think I've finally gotten to the point where it's really good. I'm rarely sleepy during the day. I wake up feeling alert, productive, and healthy. I really hope that this can help you set up a great routine for yourself. Thanks a ton for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.